All right, so let's talk about the real reason that your audience isn't buying from you. And this is a very real problem that I had for a very long time. So, I'd been trying to make YouTube videos for a long time. And even back in 2019, I wasn't really getting that many views or anything like that. I was getting a tiny amount of views. I was making a little bit of money. And then eventually I figured out how to get views. You can see, I had a lot of views here, but I still wasn't making that much money, and this was kind of the situation I was in like 2022, for instance, where I was getting a lot of views, but I didn't really know how to actually get the audience to buy from me. And, step one is to actually get views, actually get traffic, right? And then step two is to get your traffic to actually buy stuff from you and actually make money from it, right? And when I figured it out, you guys can see I've got, a huge channel here, 877K subscribers. This, of course, is going to be on my second channel. But when I figured it out, you can see that I made, over $1 million just from AdSense alone. Here's net volume. This is Stripe, of course. You can see like net volume there from Stripe. And then here's an example of me making, $243,000 in a single day. And this was very recently. So you can see that I definitely know how to get the audience to actually buy, right? So even though I am making a ton of money from AdSense, that's just the tip of the iceberg. And there's way better ways to make money on top of that. And that's what is going to be, that's what this video is going to be all about, right? So we're going to go over the common reasons that your audience isn't buying from you. We're going to go over the common mistakes that you're making and what you should be doing instead. So let's begin. Because by the end of this video, you are probably going to know the exact mistake you are making if you're in this situation where you're getting views, but you're not making very much money. So let's go over reason number one. Now, this one's really obvious, but you would be surprised how many people are making this mistake. You're not selling to your audience. Okay? Some people just leave links in the description and they don't even mention the links. Now, the amount of people that are going to click on your video if you just leave a link in the description and you don't even mention the description or the links or anything like that, or the amount of people that are going to click on those links is tiny. Like almost nobody is going to click on those links. The difference between you just simply saying, hey, the link's in the description, go ahead and click down there, and you not saying anything, you're going to literally make probably at least 10 times as much if you just mention it. That's it, right? So you have to mention it. You absolutely have to. Okay, and I see so many people that don't do this. They make these amazing videos and then they don't even mention the thing that they want their audience to do, right? So if you want your audience to buy from you, you need a strong call to action. And don't just drop a link and hope they'll click on it. You absolutely need to do a strong call to action. Tell them clearly and directly to click the link in the description. Use all caps if necessary and point down to make it obvious. Okay, so I'll give an example. I'll just do a quick video splice of what we do on my main channel.
You can check out the free training for this down in the description and the pinned comment below.
And as you can see, I do a very strong call to action. I point down in the description. I literally point. I'm like, look down in the description. So it's visual. That's a visual aid. I have big letters on the screen. Usually they're in red or white that say, click the link in the description. And I have a very strong call to action. And I don't ask them. To click the link. I usually literally tell them, I'm like, click the link in the description for this free guide, or click the link in the description to check out this free training, or click the link in the description to sign up for a call, right? And you can do that. Click the link in the description to sign up for a call if you want to learn how to properly monetize YouTube on this video, right? So I have a very, very strong call to action on that, right? There is absolutely no mistaking the call to action. It's very strong. Now, another thing about this is you want to make sure that your pitch is straightforward and brief. I've seen a lot of these pitches where it's like 45 seconds and you finally get to the point like 45 seconds in, and that is usually not ideal. I have found through extensive testing that a pitch that is less than 15 seconds is ideal. You want to be able to tell them exactly the value proposition of the thing that you want them to click on, tell them what that value proposition is, and then tell them to click on it. Don't ask them, tell them to click on it. All right. So an example, click the link in the description for free training on how to get more clients. You can do that. Click the link in the description for free training on how to get more clients. Okay. That is a strong call to action. The next one, Be aware that you might also be selling too much. Now, this is actually somewhat rare, but you might also be selling too much. And I have tested this. I have tested it to the point where I realize, okay, I pushed it too far and I'm selling too much, and then I dial it back. And I've done this with my clients as well. If you're promoting something in every single video, and if you're promoting multiple things in every single video, then you might overwhelm your audience. Now, if you are directly selling to your audience in your video, like they know that you're actually selling them something. It's not like a free lead magnet or something like that. They literally know that you're selling them something. If they're a B2C audience, okay, that means, it's not a business owner that you're selling to, then you can't do that in every video. Okay, you really don't want to do that in every video. They will get tired of it. Now, if you're indirectly selling to them for a B2C audience, then what you can do is you can say, hey, there's a free training down in the description below. And of course, it's a lead magnet, or it's an affiliate link to a free training that ends up, they eventually end up buying. And then you get them on the email list, and then you sell them later on down the line, right? So if you're doing something like that, where you're getting people to do a free training, you can do that in every single video to a B2C audience. So let me just draw this out just to be extra clear, because this can be a little bit complicated, and it is very important. I mean, this is stuff that I've been in the trenches for years. Nobody else knows this stuff, and you're about to know it. Okay, so B2C, you can sell indirect every video, and you can do every video. Okay. And what I recommend for a B2C audience is to do this 80% of the time. 80% of the time, you want to be indirect. Okay. And then 20% of the time, you can be direct, right? You're literally selling them directly on some type of product or service. That's about 20% of the time. So you'll notice on my main channel, 80% of the time, maybe even more than 80%, I am indirect. I have some kind of lead magnet. I've got some kind of free training. I've got some, something like that, a free webinar, like something along those lines. Indirect. And then, of course, once I get them on the email list, then I give them more value, and then I sell them. Once I get them on the webinar, I give them more value, then I sell them. If I send them to one of my affiliates, they get more value, and then I sell them. 20% of the time, I do a direct sale where I directly sell to them, like, go and buy this thing. That can be on sponsorships sometimes. That could be with my own products sometimes. And your audience is okay if you sell to them once in a while. But if you're selling to them all the time directly, especially for a B2C audience, that's going to piss them off. Now, for a B2B audience, this is a different story. B2B, things flip. Why? Because a B2B audience knows all of the marketing bullshit. You can be direct with a B2B audience. Okay. And I recommend that you actually are direct with a B2B audience. You don't need to go through all the marketing bullshit. So I actually recommend in many cases, be direct about 80% of the time with a B2B audience. And then indirect, like lead magnet, etc., 20%. Right. And even if you can almost even just do a hybrid. You can be like, hey, by the way, watch the video to see if what we're offering is good for you. It's going to be really good training. So that's kind of a way of being direct, but also indirect at the same time, because you're going to end up getting their email address. Right. So direct versus indirect, you can actually be direct like 80% of the time and indirect 20% of the time. Why? Because business owners are sophisticated. And this is also sophisticated audience as well, right? So maybe if they're not a business owner, but they're like a doctor, let's see, sophisticated. I think I spelled that wrong. But yeah, sophisticated audience, right? They're like a doctor, a lawyer, executive, that kind of thing. They know what's up. They know how the economy works. They don't need you to explain that stuff, and they know that you're going to sell them something. So you can be direct with that type of audience, and they understand that anything that's free is probably going to be a waste of their time in many cases. Like, not anything, but you know what I mean. Like, if it's free, that means that a bunch of other people have access to it. And if it's free, that means they're not going to get tailored one on one care. And what people who are sophisticated, B2B audiences, people who actually have a ton of money, what they care about is time and convenience. They don't care about, the price in many cases. They don't care about free, right? Whereas a B2C audience, they want stuff for free. They definitely want stuff for free because they don't have that much money. And so when they do make a purchasing decision, it's a big deal for them. Whereas B2B audiences, they make purchasing decisions all the time, right? I've spent over $100,000 on educational stuff this year easily, right? Whenever I need something like, I need, email marketing help or whatever, I buy like the best course out there, right? Boom, just done. No even second thoughts about it. I don't even watch the webinar. I just buy it, right? So that's because I'm a B2B audience. I'm a sophisticated audience. And for me, time and convenience is much more important. And same thing with the B2B audience. Now, on this channel, got a B2B audience, sophisticated. If you're watching this, especially if you've made it this far, you are probably a sophisticated audience, right? So I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to do all this marketing fluff and all this marketing bullshit. Of course, I have something to sell you. I'm a business. Of course, I do. That's how the economy works. You offer products or services, and in exchange, you get money, right? That's how you give value, right? You solve people's problems, you offer them product or service, and you get money from it. Right now, of course, I give almost all the information for free, but then I sell the implementation, right? That's what I sell. Now, this is super, super important to understand, guys. Another thing, and this is a huge secret, guys, and this is something that you'll notice that I don't always do on my main channel, but that's because I'm much more advanced at this point, is usually you just want to have one link in description. Okay. Usually this is going to be the best thing. One link. When you have like 20 different links in the description, and I have tested this extensively, your click-through rate on each link is going to go down because people are going to get overwhelmed. They're going to see a bunch of different links. And let's just say you have 10 links in your description. Let's just say, like, I'll just make up a hypothetical situation. You get 1,000 views. Okay. So let's say you get 1,000 views, but in one, you've got one link, and in the other, you've got 10 links. The total link clicks that you're going to get is probably going to be about twice as much in this one. Seriously, it's probably going to be like twice as much. So in this one, you might get 50, and in this one, you get 25 total link clicks, just simply because you only had one link versus 10 links. Now, there might be particular reasons that you have 10 links. For instance, on my main channel, you'll notice I do have more links now, and that's because I'm actually A/B testing, right? I'm A/B testing the links to see which ones lead to the best outcomes. But once I'm done A/B testing, I'm going to go back to one link, okay? And this is very, very important because this is going to make your click-through rate much, much higher. Another thing that is going to make your click-through rate much higher, I'm just going to type it out because I know my handwriting is atrocious, is link in description and pinned comment below. Okay. So you also put the link in the pinned comment. This means you have to have somebody, either yourself or somebody else, that comments on the video right away, right as it gets posted, and then they pin the comment. Okay. And you want to do it right away, right after it gets posted. Very important. So you put the link in the description and you put it in the pinned comment below. Okay. This is also going to increase the amount of people who click on your link. Another thing to keep in mind, load speed. Okay. This is why you should always be checking your links. You do not want your links to have very slow load speed. If they do, for instance, let's say you're tracking your link, you're using some kind of tracking software where it's tracking the UTMs, but the load speed is really low, the load speed is very high. It takes a long time to load. You're going to notice a lot of people end up dropping off because it takes a long time to load. And then they're just like, I don't want to wait. And then they move on to doing something else, or they keep it open in their browser and they never get to it. Right. So load speed can be another very important factor when it comes to clicking the link. Now, another thing you really want to keep in mind is a clear value proposition. When you tell them to click the link, you want to have a very clear value proposition. You want to tell them exactly what they're going to get out of clicking that link in as few words as possible. So, for instance, if I'm sending somebody to one of my business partners who teaches people how to get into digital marketing, what I'll say is there's a free training down in the description and the pinned comment below that'll teach you what digital marketing is, the different types of digital marketing jobs, how to get into digital marketing, and whether or not it's a good fit for you and your personality. So click that link down in the description and the pinned comment below for the free training, right? So I say it very quickly. I get that value proposition out of there extremely quick, okay? Clear value proposition. Don't ramble on. People have short attention spans, especially B2C, so don't ramble on. Clear and quick value proposition. That's the way to go. All right, so that's the mistake that so many people make. You're not selling to your audience. Like, you have to sell to your audience to make money, guys, but you want to do it in a particular way, right? You want to actually tell them that you have products or services that solve their problems. Reason number 2, lack of positioning. If your content is all about interviewing others or focusing on entertainment, you might be getting a lot of views, but it won't necessarily lead to sales. So I've worked with some people where their channel is all about interviewing other people. And that means that the other person is positioned as the expert. Now, that's not the end of the world. You can still monetize that. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely not the end of the world. But there are some problems with that, in that you are not positioning yourself as the expert, right? And that's what you want to position yourself as. You want to position, here's the person, right? Okay. And here's the person, and this is their current situation. And they want to get to this desired situation. And this is you right here. You are already at the desired situation. And you are also their guide to get from where they are to where they want to be. This is like, think of this like a stair step or a mountain to climb. You are their guide to get them from here to here. Okay. And that's, if you don't position yourself as an expert, then that's not, how are you going to be their guide? Right? They're going to think of the other person as the guide. And if you're affiliating with that other person, then that's great. You can position them as the guide, but you need to be very aware of your positioning and how you do these things. And then same thing with entertainment. If you're making entertainment content, it's going to be very difficult for you to sell people on something because you're not positioning yourself as an expert. You're not educating them. People typically don't make purchasing decisions from entertainment content unless it's just like tiny stuff, like a t-shirt or a mug or something like that, right? They typically do not make purchasing decisions based on entertainment content. What they do make purchasing decisions, especially big purchasing decisions on, is education content, right? And they almost always make purchasing decisions from personal brands, not faceless channels, okay? So this is another really big thing. They make purchasing decisions based on personal brands, guys. Think about your purchasing behavior. How many times have you made a big purchasing decision based on a faceless channel? How many times have you made a big purchasing decision based on entertainment? Probably very, very few times, if any. Now, how many times have you made a purchasing decision based on a personal brand? Probably hundreds of times, maybe thousands of times. Think about it, like reviewing, maybe you got like a treadmill, you probably watched some reviews on it. Or maybe you purchased P90X, you watched some reviews on it. Maybe you purchased some kind of supplement, you watched some reviews on it. Maybe you purchased a course, you watched some reviews on it. Et cetera, et cetera. Or you watch some how-to content or some listicle content or something like that. Something that educated you on the problem that you're having and the product that you're talking about. All right. And then you made a purchasing decision because of that. Now, in this case, people follow you for guests and or entertainment, not for your opinions or products, right? If you're making if you're making entertainment content or like faceless content, or you are positioning the other person as the expert and you are not the expert, right? So, they might be following you because of the guests you have or the entertainment that you provide, but they're not actually seeing you as the expert yourself, right? Um, Now, to make money, you need a clear value proposition and strong positioning, right? I can't emphasize how important this is. If you're just the interviewer, the real authority is your guest, not you. And that means your audience isn't likely to buy from you because they don't see you as the expert or the authority on the subject. So let's talk about a clear value proposition. This is something that you probably think you understand, but you don't. I remember on my main channel. Now, if you watch my main channel, you'll see me talking about college degrees. You'll see me talking about remote jobs, sometimes side hustles, that kind of thing. And you might think my value proposition is helping people get jobs. And that is part of the larger value proposition, but that's not actually my real value proposition on my main channel. And I know this because I extensively surveyed people and I talked to them on the phone, which is what you should do once you have a real audience. Schedule 15-minute calls with your audience, survey them. You can do it using the YouTube community tab. You literally do surveys on the YouTube community tab. You can also do a survey link to like a Google form to do a survey, and you can put it in your video description. And you can find out what your audience actually wants from you. Okay. And what my audience actually wants from me, and I know this because of extensive surveying, is help choosing career path. They do not want me to help them get the job. They don't want me to, teach them how to interview correctly, teach them how to, apply for jobs. They want my help choosing a career path. That is the number one thing that they want my help with. Now, of course, they do want to land the job as well, but this is actually more important than helping them land the job, is choosing the career path. And that's why on my channel, you'll notice I give them a ton of different options, right? Because I know what my audience wants because I've extensively surveyed them. Okay. So that is the value proposition of my channel. Now, each individual video might have slightly different value propositions, but the overall value proposition of my channel is helping people to choose their career path. So make sure your content clearly shows your unique value and expertise rather than just relying on others to attract views. Now, I'll talk about certain careers on my channel. I'll talk about, tech sales. I'll talk about digital marketing. I'll talk about, different sales careers, software development, data analysis, etc. And there's lots of people out there that are bigger experts than me in those individual areas. But there's no one out there that understands the entire picture of all the different careers the way that I do. No one else out there understands that the way that I do. And that's why I'm able to give them an objective opinion on these things, because, not every career is perfect for everyone. For some people, a sales career might be their dream job. For others people, it'd be their absolute nightmare. Same thing with data analysis, same thing with software development, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm able to help them figure out which one is the best for them and then give them some helpful resources, which have affiliate links attached to them or some type of course that I'm selling them on the back end. Right? So very, very important that you understand this. Reason 3, lack of value proposition. So we kind of got into this a little bit more, but let's talk about this on a deeper level. If your content doesn't have a clear value proposition, you'll struggle to get viewers to buy from you. Understand why people click on different videos. So you've got like a funnel, right? And everyone knows that you've got top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel type content. So top of funnel, and this is a little bit different for every single niche, but top of funnel might be, also you have to define what you're selling. So let's just say I'm selling a digital marketing course, right? My friend's digital marketing course. Okay, so let's just say I'm selling my friend's digital marketing course. Top of funnel might be best jobs. Middle of funnel might be how to land a digital marketing job, or maybe top 5 best tips for landing a digital marketing job. And then bottom of funnel is this guy, like a testimonial. This guy landed a digital marketing job. Digital marketing job. Okay. So like if you notice my homepage, guys, I'll pop it up on the screen real quick. You'll see that on my homepage, it's all bottom of funnel content. My homepage is almost like a landing page. It's an absolute money making machine. And I put pretty much all testimonials on my homepage because that's bottom of funnel content. Middle of funnel is like how to land a digital marketing job, or they're already into digital marketing. And then best jobs, where one of the jobs that I mentioned is digital marketing, would be top of funnel, right? And you need to understand like what the audience knows and what your value proposition is. So your value proposition is what makes your content valuable to your audience and why they keep coming back. So on my main channel, it is more of a mass market educational channel. My main channel is mass market educational. Now, what do I recommend most people do? I recommend they do niche educational, but that's a topic for a different video. And because it's mass market educational, that's why I talk about stuff like best jobs. I talk about a bunch of different jobs that are really good, and then I point them towards resources that can help them land those jobs. There's free resources, of course, and then there are some paid resources as well, but usually they start off as a free resource, as a lead magnet, and then they get them into the funnel, and then it turns into a paid resource. So your value proposition is what makes your content valuable to your audience and why they keep coming back. My audience keeps coming back because I help them select the best jobs for them. And maybe that value proposition will change. Sometimes it changes in the future. So Mr. V's value is entertaining challenges with a warm, feel-good twist, while Charlie Morgan helps viewers fix their mindset to make more money, right? So this is the real value proposition of these two channels. Mr. Beast's value is entertaining challenges with a warm, feel-good twist. And notice every single one of Mr. Beast's videos is a challenge video. That is a big thing about the value proposition, is understanding the format of your video, right? If you notice on my main channel, almost all of my videos are what's known as listicles. That means I give them a list of things. Now, there's a reason for that. Why do you think that is? It's because my audience wants choices, right? They want me to help them make the best choice for them and their situation. So that's why listicles work so well for my audience. And, that's why I mostly post listicles, probably about 80% of the time. And it's the same thing for these guys. You'll notice they usually post the same type of content most of the time. Same thing with Mr. Beast. He posts challenges basically 100% of the time. He posts challenges. Okay. So you have to understand the actual value proposition of what your channel offers. Notice that I say feel good twist here. Okay. Mr. Beast content almost always produces the same emotions in the viewer's mind in every single video. They go through this story. The person needs money. They go through a challenge. They win the challenge. They get the money. They're super happy. And then they talk about how, it's going to help them pay off their student loans, or it's going to help them pay their mom's medical bills, or it's going to help them do all this. And then you feel really good about it, right? You feel really good about the challenge, right? It's a feel good twist. It's warm, right? Anyone can enjoy a Mr. Beast video, from a 90-year-old to a 5-year-old, right? Anyone can enjoy it. It's super mass market. It's super educational. But that he knows his value proposition like the back of his hand. He absolutely knows it. And it's always challenge videos, right? It's always challenge videos. So if your content isn't centered around a strong, consistent value proposition, you risk becoming just another voice in the crowd, right? And if you're offering the same value proposition as everyone else, good luck. Good luck. How else are you going to set your content apart if you're offering the exact same value proposition as every single other person? And, again, value proposition is something that you want to refine over time. And another thing is you might have a different viewer value proposition than you have a buyer value proposition. Okay. So a great example of this is Alex Hormozi. So Alex Hormozi's main business is he invests in entrepreneurs that are making $1 to $3 million per year, and he helps them get to 10 million per year plus. Okay. So that is his value proposition, is he actually invests in these videos. That's his buyer value proposition, right? He invests in their businesses, and he gets equity in their businesses. Do you think that's his viewer proposition? Do you think all of the millions and millions of people that watch him have $1 to $3 million businesses? Absolutely not. Most of the people that watch him are newbies, newbie entrepreneurs that just want to start, or entrepreneurs, right? People that haven't actually, made any money, but, at least they failed at business, which, by the way, that's way better than not starting in the first place. But at least they failed at business, or small business owners. Almost all the people who watch him fall into that category. So his viewer value proposition is different than his buyer value proposition. But by attracting more viewers, he ends up getting more buyers, right? He's made that decision, and he's monetizing it in a very intelligent way, right? So make sure you clearly define and consistently deliver what makes your content valuable. All right. Reason 4, don't sell the plane ticket, sell the vacation. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is so unbelievably important, guys. If you want your audience to buy from you, you need a strong call to action. Show them how amazing their life will be after using your product. Now, how do you do that? Well, if you are trying to sell a vacation to Hawaii, or let's just say you're trying to sell a vacation to Thailand, because I'm going to Thailand in a few weeks, so I'm going to talk about that. If you're trying to sell a vacation to Thailand, do you think it would work better to talk about the 18-hour flight that they're going to have to take to get to Thailand, where they're uncomfortable and they have to go to the bathroom and they have to talk to strangers, and there might be someone who farts right next to them, and they might end up in between two fat guys, and they might end up with a crying baby right in front of them? Do you want to sell them by talking about that? Or do you want to just purely talk about the outcome, which is they get to go to a place that has beautiful beaches, smiling people, amazing food, a great culture that creates amazing experiences for people, etc.? Which one do you think is going to be more effective? Of course, selling the destination, right? Selling the vacation, not selling the plane ride. Of course, that's going to be way, way, way more effective. Yet, when I watch most content on YouTube, it's like tutorial content or something like that. When you make tutorial content, when you make like step-by-step content on how to do stuff, and you get really technical with it, what you're doing is you're selling the plane ride. You're selling the 12-hour plane ride. Now, this actually works really well in some cases if you're selling a service. Because if you're selling a service, that means that you are doing the work for the other person, right? And so you want the work to sound like a lot of work, right? You want it to sound like it's a lot of work. So that can actually work pretty well if you're selling a service. But if you're selling like an info product, like a coaching program or an info product, or something like that, you 100% sell the vacation, sell the destination, because you don't want to make it seem hard and tedious. And if you're doing tutorial videos, it's going to seem hard and tedious. If it's like a 2-hour tutorial video, like, oh, click here, then put that there, and then click here, and then do that, blah, 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 blah. Most people are not going to want to buy that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing you put in your info product, your course, or your coaching program. And this is a huge mistake I've seen people make. I saw this one guy's channel, and I'm telling you, he makes some of the best content on the internet. It blows my mind. He makes full-length tutorials that are like free courses, and he's broke. He's not making any money by doing that, okay? And why? Because it's too technical. He gets incredibly technical with it. And you don't want to do that. You want to sell the vacation, not the plane ticket. Now, of course, there's a few, caveats here. Like I said, if you're selling a service, this can be good. If you are selling to a B2B audience, sometimes it can be okay as well, because they're smarter than a B2C audience. But if you're selling to a B2C audience, guys, and you're doing tutorial technical content, you're making a big mistake most of the time. Okay. Now, also remember to stand out by doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. If most people follow a certain trend, try a different approach. When everyone zigs, you zag. So if everyone is making super high quality, highly edited content, then you should actually come on the scene and make content that's much more raw and authentic. And we've seen this work over and over again. Just to give you a few examples, in the fitness niche, if you look at the fitness niche, there are a bunch of guys like Jeremy Ethier, for instance, who makes just top tier content. He's got like 6 million subs. He's absolutely crushing it. And he makes absolutely top tier content. I mean, it's just beautifully made. I mean, it's just unbelievably good content. And that's what just about everyone was doing in the fitness niche. And then this guy called Sam Sulik came along. And he made content where the titles are terrible, the thumbnails are terrible, and the editing's terrible. There's basically no editing. Like he just has an edit. He basically just has an edit right at the beginning, and the rest of the video is just him talking with zero edits. And then he gets to the gym, zero edits, just goes and does his workouts, zero edits, and then he just talks to the camera. And he just drives back. Maybe he goes to the store sometimes. He gets some cottage cheese so he can get his protein in. And that's about it. So it's like zero editing. And this guy blew up to 4 million subscribers, 3-4 million subscribers in, I think it was like a 6-month period or so. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And that's a perfect example of when everyone zigs, you zag. That's a perfect example. Another really good example is the self-development niche. So let's talk about the self-development niche. Basically, everyone in the self-development niche was making super high production quality videos. This guy, How to Beast, was, with self-development content, it was, all about like Ali Abdaal, right? Really high production quality, great editing, amazing production quality content. Then you had guys like Better Ideas, also has incredible, artistic production quality content. Then you had guys like Matt Diavella, same thing, unbelievable. I mean, he's a filmmaker, so he makes unbelievably good content, incredible edits, just super well made stuff, like stuff that it would take years to figure out how to do. So who came along and who just absolutely blew this niche up? Well, it's this guy named Hamza. He started making really simple, goofy content that had like animations and stuff. And at first, when he was making the content, it was just super basic. It was just him talking to a camera. And he started absolutely blowing up, right? And it was raw, authentic content. He wasn't family friendly. Like all these other guys were very family friendly, right? All three of these guys, super family friendly. Hamza came in and he started making some pretty like anti-establishment type content, right? It was definitely not family friendly. And he just started absolutely crushing it. And he blew up in this niche and got millions and millions of subscribers in a super short period of time. And he was getting more views than any of those channels by far. So again, when everyone else zigs, don't just copy them, guys. When everyone else zigs, you zag. And avoid being a copycat of successful content creators. Instead, be the best version of yourself. Use strategies like offering a low-cost product to get people to make their first purchase, which can lead to more significant sales. This is very common. People do this. This is what's called a tripwire. So you can do a tripwire. So you can sell like a $7 product or something, super low cost product. And then that leads to a much higher level product down the line. Maybe you get people on the phone once they bought your $7 product and you sell them on like a 3K product or something like that, or something maybe much higher than that, right? If you're selling to B2B, it would probably be minimum like 10K plus, right? I'm in a $40,000 mastermind and a $50,000 mastermind this year, just to give you an example. Next year, I'll be in 2 more very expensive masterminds. And then reason number 5 is because you're giving everything away for free. Now, this one requires a lot of nuance, so I need you to pay attention. If you're being a little ADHD, scatterbrained, maybe you're looking at different tabs, I need you to lock in and pay attention here. If you give away all of your best stuff for free, people won't value it or take action. And when you don't charge for your advice or products, people tend to ignore it or not put the effort in to use it. Now, let me give you a perfect example of this. I am the best YouTube coach in the world when it comes to actually making money on YouTube. And I had a good friend who had a YouTube channel, and he'd been uploading to the channel for like 7 years. And he was not making much. He wasn't getting very many views, and he wasn't making as much money as he wanted to make from his channel. And I gave him some advice on YouTube. I coached him for free. And you want to know how much he got out of that? Basically nothing. I gave him all my best advice completely free, and he took zero action on it. And he was, we had this conversation where we were like, dude, you know that I'm like one of the best YouTube coaches in the world. Like, I'm so surprised that you're not taking action on the things that I told you to do. And we both came to the conclusion that he needed to buy my coaching. He needed to pay for my coaching. So finally, after like a year, he sent me, thousands of dollars, and he paid for my coaching. Within a month and a half, he had his first video that ever got to 100,000 views. And that video now has like 250,000 views. He also had a second video just a few weeks later get to over 100,000 views. That was the first time ever in like 7, 8 years of uploading that he ever had a video get to 100,000 views in a month and a half. Okay. Why did he not get results before? Because it was free. Therefore, he did not value it. He did not value it. And when I sold him on the coaching, he started valuing it and he actually got results. So if you don't pay, okay, this is a very true thing. If you don't pay, you don't pay attention. This is true for almost all people out there. So this is why it's important that you actually pay for stuff. This is why, even though I know a lot, I still pay for big masterminds, guys. And if you don't charge for your advice or products, people tend to ignore it or not put the effort into it. Now, there is some nuance here. Okay. You definitely want to charge for your advice or your products simply because, if for nothing else, simply because it's going to get your clients better results. I guarantee you that if you put out a course and you charge your clients, let's just say hypothetically $1,000 for it, and then you put out another course, the same exact course for free in 2 alternative universes, you are going to get more people that get results from the course that you actually made people pay for. Even though way more people are going to see the free course, most likely, almost none of them are going to get results from it. I guarantee you. So you need to do it just so that people get results. But with that being said, you can still put out really good lead magnets and videos on YouTube that give a ton of value completely free. And you should. You should. But the stuff that needs you in order to get the person results, like community, like feedback, like telling them what their blind spots are, like coaching, that kind of thing, obviously you need to charge for that. Because if you don't charge for it, they're not going to get results. Okay? Charging for your content or services makes people take it seriously, and they'll work harder and get better results because they have skin in the game. Now, if you are a very advanced marketer, the more advanced you get, the more stuff you give away for free or cheap. And that's because you know how to convert people. You know how to turn a lead into a sale. But if you're not an advanced marketer, you need to be much more direct and just try to sell them directly, right? And I recommend most people just start off with that, because direct selling still works pretty good. And it can absolutely, you can still make a killing with direct selling. I still make a good amount of money with direct selling, even though I make more money when I get people on my email list, when I give them something for free, over a long period of time. I still make a ton of money from direct selling. So offering everything for free can make you look like a charity rather than a serious business, which often leads to poor results for both you and your audience and your clients. Okay. So in the end, charging for your expertise or products is more effective and sustainable. Reason 6, you don't seem like you're a trustworthy person. Okay. This one is hard to swallow, but to get people to buy from you, they need to know. Okay. They need to know you, first of all. So that's getting traffic. They need to like you, and they need to trust you. Now, knowing and liking isn't too difficult, but trusting, that's pretty difficult, especially in this modern world where there's so many scammers out there. So, knowing is position yourself as an authority to show you're knowledgeable about the subject and put out content and get views. Liking is sharing story. This is how you get people to like you, right? You share stories about yourself and your experiences to let people connect with you personally. That is what causes people to like you, by authentically expressing your personality, right? Personality and sharing stories. These are the two big things that get people to like you: personality and stories. And then when it comes to trust, you want to provide value by solving problems and addressing pain points in your content. When you provide value to people, when you alleviate their pain, that makes people trust you. Okay. And another thing that makes people trust you kind of goes back to this one, and that is authority. You need to be someone who actually knows what they're talking about. You want them to see you as an authority. right? It goes back to the guide thing. You are a guide for them to get from their current situation to their desired situation. Okay. So solve their problems, alleviate their pain. Um, Try to do it in as little time as possible as well. Pick a very small problem, even make a video about it and alleviate that pain. And then they're going to choose you to actually pay to solve the bigger problems. Now, on YouTube, it's a beautiful thing because you can actually build all three of these at once. On a lot of the other platforms, what you have to do is get them to know you on the platform, but then they sign up for a lead magnet or something, and that's where you get them to like and trust you. So it's a lot more work. You have to send them a bunch of emails to get them to buy your stuff. On YouTube, that's why it works so unbelievably well, is because you can just send them straight to the landing page and buy your stuff a lot of the time. It's super effective. And if people don't buy from you, it might be because they don't see you as trustworthy or they don't think you can solve their problem. Okay. And that is a super big problem. You need to fix that. Reason 7, you need to make it clear where they are and where they should be. Okay. So clearly explain that your customer is on Hell Island and they need to go to Heaven Island. And this is what your content should be all about. So you've got these 2 islands. This is Hell Island. And then you've got this other island, which is Heaven Island. I'm not sure why Heaven Island is so much bigger, but I made it bigger. And this is where they are, and this is where they want to be. You need to very, very clearly explain where they are. Tell them what situation they're in. If you're talking about people who want to get a better job, they don't like their job. They're not getting paid enough. They don't get the respect that they deserve. And Heaven Island would be a job that pays them better, that respects them more, that, treats them a lot better, and they have better hours, etc. Right? If, it's a biz op offer, they're working a 9 to 5, they hate their job, they want to escape the 9 to 5, they want to start their own business and be, gain that financial independence, that time freedom, that location freedom, right? That's the Hell Island that they're on. And the Heaven Island would be having your own business, being able to travel the world, being able to be anywhere you want, not having to work as much, making more money than your job, being able to quit your job. That would be Heaven Island, right? Being able to actually quit your job. Okay, so you need to very clearly define what Hell Island and Heaven Island is. And then you are the boat that gets them from Hell Island to Heaven Island, right? That's you. You are the boat. Now, there's going to be really nasty sharks, right? Over here, that is a terrible shark. Let's try that again. There's going to be some really nasty sharks over here. Yeah, I'm really bad at this, but yeah, here's a shark. Okay, and they're going to try to attack the boat, but because of the fact that you are an authority, you're a master. You are going to be able to get them through these choppy waters all the way to Heaven Island without the shark eating them, right? Okay, so, and you're going to be able to do it better than any other boat. That's very important because there's other boats that could get them from Hell Island to Heaven Island, right? Like if they're trying to escape the 9 to 5, they could do e-com, they could do SMMA, they could do all this kind of stuff. But you want to say, like, this is the best boat to get from Hell Island to Heaven Island. Let's just say you are selling a SMMA offer. SMMA is better than ecom because of XYZ. And then once they understand that this is the best boat, then there's other people that teach SMMA. So then you need to sell them on the fact that you are the best boat captain, right? You're the best at actually getting this particular boat to the other island, right? So it's very important you understand these things because this is the process of selling someone, and this should be implemented in every single video. And you need to keep this in mind in every single video. And if you just use this analogy of Hell Island and Heaven Island, you're going to understand. It's just going to come out of your mouth very easily when you're talking to people, when you're making content. Okay? So clearly define what Hell Island is and Heaven Island is. Emphasize the difficulty from getting to Hell Island to Heaven Island and the challenges that they'll face, right? The sharks, etc. And then promote your solution. Demonstrate that your product or service is the best way to bridge the gap and get to Heaven Island. And then show your value. Make it clear that they need your help, not the other SMMA expert, but your help to use the solution effectively and overcome obstacles. Because you might do all this work and you convince them that SMMA is the best business model or whatever, and then they just go with Iman Gadzhi or they go with someone else, right? They go with the big SMMA guy. So you just did all this work only for them to spend their money with somebody else. You don't want that to happen, right? So what makes you the person that they want to buy from? If you keep this as just like a in the back of your mind, just understand this on the deepest level that you are defining Hell Island and Heaven Island all the time in your content, in your marketing, in your sales, etc. You are going to start selling way, way better than you were selling before. Okay. If you don't make these points clear, it's going to be hard to justify your price and close deals. All right, guys. So if you want to know how to actually make money from YouTube, if you want to get on a call with somebody who is the world-renowned expert, number one in the world when it comes to teaching people how to make money on YouTube, I have literally gotten crazy results. I've gotten 5 people now to 8 figures per year. I've helped about 15, 16 people now get to 7 figures per year on YouTube. And some of these people were newbies. Some of these people already had channels. Some of these people were business owners who wanted to start on YouTube. The typical person that I work with is either a YouTuber who doesn't know how to monetize, or a business owner, like a coach, consultant, agency owner, or online service provider that wants to get on YouTube and they don't really know how to properly make content. Those are the types of people I love working with, and those are the types of people that I get crazy good results for. So if you're one of those people, book a call down below.